Colorado, land of the Rocky Mountains and home to Jeff, an active 47-year-old businessman who noticed his hair was changing and it began to affect him.
Your self-perception changes as you realize maybe people don't see you the same because you don't look the same.
Hair loss in some individuals can have a dramatic effect on their life, both their relationships, work, and things like that. It's a shame, but it's a fact. It happens.
You know, it wasn't like an overnight thing, but as you go along, you just keep, and as it was thinning, I saw more. I was like, wow, I'm getting pretty thin up there.
He didn't let it interfere with his business, but it was starting to bother him.
Losing your hair, I think you feel older. I mean, it's part of life too, but you know, it's not probably the best favorite thing that happens to you.
Hair loss is a common problem, and researchers estimate about 85% of hair loss in America is caused by genetic factors.
For men, it's something called male pattern baldness or androgenetic alopecia, and for women, it's called female pattern baldness or female pattern alopecia. It's usually based on a genetic effect of hormones in the body. There are other causes, medical causes too, but this is the most common cause.
Classic male pattern hair loss is the receding hairline, where the hairline in the front recedes back, and in the back of the scalp up top here in the crown, you develop a bald area. And then what happens is it slowly can go on. For some men, it happens quickly in their 20s. For some men, the hair loss happens over decades very slowly. Women, it's a completely different hair loss pattern. Women do not develop bald areas. Their hairline actually does not recede either.
The culprit in both cases is the hormone testosterone.
Everybody has testosterone in the byproduct. If you happen to have more because of taking drugs and things like that, you may lose your hair more. But everybody has a basic level. It's just that your hair is more sensitive to it. And this hair on top of the head is particularly sensitive to it.
A healthy scalp contains about 110,000 hair follicles. The average person experiencing hair loss loses 100 hairs a day. When hair loss begins, doctors say it doesn't stop, so the best defense is to identify a hair loss problem early and begin treatment.
Well, when someone comes in with hair loss, it bothers them, and there's a couple of options. You can divide them maybe into three major categories. One option, of course, would be products like shampoos and conditioners or cover-ups or wigs. These are, things that people can use.
Prescription medications may help some patients stop hair loss. Minoxidil is a topical solution you rub into the scalp and can be used by both men and women. Finasteride is a tablet, only FDA approved for men, which blocks testosterone, thereby preventing further hair loss from the affected areas. These medications can be effective, but they require consistent use, and results may take several months or up to a year to see.
If someone says, I've used it for a year, I'm happy it's maintained, but I'd like to add hair, that's where surgery comes in as a good treatment option. It's called hair transplantation. What hair transplantation takes advantage of the fact that men and women tend not to lose the hair in the back of the scalp.
Hair in the back of the scalp is not sensitive to testosterone or DHT, and if successfully transplanted, it will grow in its new location. Hair transplantation surgery is done on an outpatient basis. There are two main ways to obtain the donor hair follicles.
We take the hair back out one of two ways. Either we make a surgical incision and we take what's called an ellipse, a strip out from the back. We put some stitches in the back and it leaves a fine scar in the back from where the hair was taken from. Or alternatively, there's a robotic device that's been approved since 2011 that takes out the individual hair follicles from the back of the scalp as well. Both techniques result in consistently natural appearing hair.
The robotic device is called the ARTAS system. That's the procedure Jeff chose when he decided to do something about his hair loss.
Definitely didn't want to do the old style procedure of taking out a strip of scalp and getting sutured and being out of commission for 3 weeks. And then I found out about ARTAS, and I would only be out for a couple days and back to living my life.
Although it's called a robotic device, it's a little different than what you might expect.
It's an instrument that's under the guidance of myself. And what it does, basically, like many computer-assisted things in life, from our cars to planes to almost everything in life now, it makes it more efficient and precise. So the computer is able to allow this robotic device to remove individual hairs in a consistently accurate way and in a timely way, very time efficient.
The computer has a number of cameras that is able to identify each individual hair group, and then it has its algorithms to line this punch up perfectly in alignment with it, and basically punch over that hair to extract it out. It takes an extreme amount of skill and a lot of time to learn this, but the robot has taken a lot of that difficulty and used computer-assisted imaging to make it easier. The camera's now looking all around to take the images of everything, measuring the density, angles, direction.
The ARTAS robotic procedure is done in the physician's office and is an outpatient option. Although it is done in one day, it takes about 3 months before the hair gradually begins to grow. Jeff was very satisfied with his choice.
If I was advising a friend that's experiencing hair loss, I would say do your research, find out what your options are. But I would definitely recommend checking into the ARTAS procedure, because it's going to give you great results, and it's less invasive than a lot of the other procedures out there.
While surgery is not for everyone and does carry risks, for patients like Jeff, it's made a big difference in his quality of life.
Many people come in and, for a variety of reasons, are not candidates for the surgery, and then we don't do the surgery. But if someone is a candidate for the surgery and has realistic expectations, the satisfaction rate is high with the procedure.
For more information about hair loss, please visit artashair.com.